Electronics. In today's video, we are going to have a discussion with Hari Krishnan. He got placed in Qualcomm very recently. So he's going to give us some important tips. There is some interesting tips he's going to give us about the selection process, resume building, and what are the various stages of selection and his interview experience he's going to share. Okay, so if you're interested in watching any of this content, please do watch this video till the end. Also, if you're seeing the channel for the first time, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow us on our Instagram page. So let us move on to the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Hari Krishna. I did my bachelor's in Electronics and Communication Engineering from NIT Calicut, and fortunately I was placed in Qualcomm as an associate engineer.
Can you please tell us about how you came to know about this Qualcomm recruitment?
So this was a campus drive and the whole process was completely online. Because of that, we did not know which all colleges were there. But from my college, CS, EC and EEE students were eligible. But then there was a cutoff criteria of 7.5 CGPA. There was a separate drive for internship, and third years could apply for that, but this drive was only for the fourth year.
So Qualcomm is one of the dream company of a lot of people out there, especially for people from electronics or electrical or EI, that related background. Okay, so can you please tell us how many rounds were there in the selection process of Qualcomm?
Yeah, so my whole process comprised of 3 rounds. The first one was a written round. The second round consists of 2 technical interviews, and the third one was the HR round. And in some cases, there could be the technical interview, so it may vary a little bit.
Can you please tell us in more detail about the first round and what all things were there in the first round?
Yeah. So the first round consists of 3 sections. First section was general aptitude, the second was basic C programming, and the third section was digital electronics. The third section was like we had option, we could choose between digital communication or software, and I opted for digital. Then yeah, so the whole round was MCQ based. There were like 20 questions from each section. And yeah, the first section, general aptitude, consisted of comprehensive questions, distance, speed, work, labor, time, those kind of questions. And it was very similar to any other general aptitude paper. Then the second round, second section, the basic C programming, there were most of the questions were from find output or find error, such kind of questions. And then digital electronics, majority of the questions were from flip-flops, counters, logic gates. And there were like 1 or 2 questions from signals and systems. There were 1 or 2 questions from microprocessors. So that's it. And yeah, the marking scheme, each question carries 1 mark and had a negative of 0.25. So my preparation for the first round, to begin with general aptitude, I did a couple of mock papers with time limit, and when I did it with time limit, I was able to understand that some of them were lengthy, some questions were lengthy. I was prone to make mistakes on certain questions, so that helped me understand those kind of questions, and I revisited those topics specifically rather than visiting all the topics. So that basically helped me crack that round. And I would say time is a key factor in this section. So yeah, like if I would suggest to do some mock papers with time limit. And then the second section, in that section I had already done a course on basic C programming, so I had already done some similar questions. So what I did was I just revisited those topics that I had already done. I did not specifically look into one textbook, but I have heard the book written by Balaguru Swami is really nice. So maybe you can follow that if you're interested. Or else there are a lot of websites available, but then I don't remember any specific websites. But yeah, just Google it. You will get questions. And then third section. So here my strategy was that doing gate problems really helped. Because one thing is that gate problems, if you do the gate problems with time limit, you'll be able to manage the time, and as well as there will be a lot of topics covered, which would be very similar to the question that will be there in the this section. And websites, I would say I follow the website ASIC World. I was really like, it's like very beginner friendly, and I really like that website. I used to follow that even for learning learning Verilog. And then textbooks, I would say Fundamentals of Logic Design by Roth and Kinney. For VLSI, the book written by Rabe. Yeah, and then the YouTube videos, there are a lot of YouTube videos available. There are a lot of YouTube videos available, like NESO, all about electronics, CEC electronics, NPTEL videos, and even there are lectures by Rabe himself. So all of them are really good, but then it depends on what time you are watching those videos. So if you are planning to revise the topics, maybe go for the smaller clips. But if you are the idea is to strengthen the basics, I would suggest to watch NPTEL videos or Rabe videos, or like they might be lengthy but really informative.
Can you please tell us about the second round and how you actually managed to crack the second round?
Yeah, the second round was a technical round. I had 2 technical interviews in this, and each technical interview was for 30 to 45 minutes. And there were coding questions in both of my interviews. The first interview, they were asking questions from object-oriented programming, classes, pointers, etc. But in my second interview, they asked me to write some pseudo codes. And then the resume, in my interview, what happened was that initial questions were from my resume itself, or topics mentioned in my resume. But after some points, they started asking questions that was not from topics that was not mentioned in my resume as well. So yeah, you can expect all questions irrespective of whatever is written in your resume. But yeah, like whatever is written in your resume, that should be thorough. Then topics, the basics of digital electronics, VLSI, computer architecture, computer networks, operating systems. There could be questions from any of these sections, but here I would suggest to give priority to digital electronics, flip-flops, counters, logic gates. All these things are really important. Then go try to learn basics of VLSI, and then give priority to basics of computer networks, computer architectures, and OS. So depending on the time that is available to you, I would suggest to go in the same order. But then you can expect any questions, because the thing is, interview panel, if the person is from a certain background, then the chance of getting questions from that background is very high. And also if the requirement for the company is for a specific profile, then the chances are getting questions from that profile would be very high. And both of these things will be an element of surprise, and you will know it only during the interview. So learn all these topics, but then give priority to digital electronics and VLSI. So to crack the second round, some ideas that helped me were first, when you're learning a topic, learn the basics really well. Because strengthen the basics, what happens is in an interview, the interviewer begins a topic with basic questions, and only depending on the answer, he will be proceeding to the next question. And then once an interview begins, whenever a question is asked, try to explain your attempt rather than simply telling the final answer. Because even if you are making some mistakes, the chances are the interviewer will give some hints, help you get into the right track. And the third is that during an interview, there is a possibility that you might not know a question, or you might partially know the question, like how to solve those questions. So even at that time, make sure that you make an attempt, because that counts. Because even if you don't answer all the questions, if you are making a good attempt, that will give a good impression. Because of that, try to make an attempt. And also during the interview, be confident. Even if you make a mistake, it's fine, like continue the interview, because don't what happens is, if you lose hope in between, then the next questions you might even know the answers, but you cannot communicate that well. Because this happened in my interview. they started asking questions from a domain which I did not take that elective, nor was I aware, like I did not expect the questions from that domain. So initially I don't know why, but I just skipped 1 or 2 questions telling that I don't know. But later I regretted that decision, and basically what happened was, from there the questions they asked on that domain, I tried to make an attempt. And I think even if you make a mistake, there's always time to cover up during an interview. Till the interview is not over, there's still a chance to cover up any mistake that happened. So be confident during the interview, and yeah, like stay positive.
Can you please tell us about the rounds after the technical round, means the HR round and all? So how is your experience with the HR? What was the HR round? How was it?
So the HR round was basically through phone call, and the call lasted for hardly 10 minutes. This was more like an informal conversation rather than an interview. And they asked questions like which was the preferred location, why this company, and some general questions like that.
Next is a very important question for all the freshers out there, especially for people who are interested in working with these companies like Qualcomm and big companies. How to prepare resume? What are the things you have to take care while you are building your resume? Can you please give us some tips?
Yeah, so the tips in building a resume, I would say first thing is give priority to projects, works or courses that you have done in a topic related to the profile for which you are applying, because then the chances are interviewer will ask a question from those area, and if you are able to answer them, it is going to give a really good impression. And then when you add content in a resume, make sure you know them, because otherwise the same thing, like the chance of interviewer asking questions are high from that area, and therefore make sure you add only what you know really well. And then yeah, so in a resume, try to avoid all kind of spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, all those things, because it is going to give a really bad impression. And I would say, if possible, give the resume to someone and make them proofread your resume, because they might be able to find some errors which you did not. Yeah, so basically that's it. Like, and I will also say this, that I feel resumes after a point is not that important. Because once the technical interview begins, I think your technical knowledge and the way in which you answer those questions, that and everything matters. Those things matters more. But then during the first round, the written round, the marks are not given, the cutoff is not given. So basically, there could be screening using the resume. So maintaining a decent resume is really important. So
next, I would like you to tell some tips, especially for the Qualcomm aspirants. So what are the things that you have to take care if you are interested in cracking the Qualcomm selection process? What are the various roles in which you can work in Qualcomm? So what is the possibility of getting placed in Qualcomm? What are the things that you have to take care of? Please tell us.
All the aspirants, try to choose your electives wisely. Make sure that the electives you take are aligned with your area of interest and the profile you're looking for. Then if you have some kind of a course project, try to do them really well, and you can add them in your resume. And also, if you have you get an opportunity to do some kind of a project or take part in competition, try to do them. These will, like, when you say you know a topic, and if you are able to show that you have done some projects, it's going to make a good impression. And languages, at least during my interview, they did not specify any language. Rather, they asked me to code in any language I was comfortable with. And try to learn one hardware description language, either Verilog or VHDL. I think that will be really helpful. And regarding the areas in which you can join in Qualcomm, yeah, Qualcomm is like a really big company, so there are a lot of opportunities available. Like there are analog IC designs, there is like SoC validation, CPU design. There are a lot of opportunities there. So it primarily depends on the vacancy available at the time while you are joining and also your skill sets. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, prepare well. All the best for your preparations.